You ready? Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show, and welcome to a new week of streaming. Today, I'm back from break, and because of that, we've got quite a lot of stuff to talk about, including playing catch-up on all the stuff that I'm basically behind on because the last couple of days, I didn't really have normal podcasting, right? So, today, we'll be watching back a series of gameplay trailers and or game announcements from various different events that have happened over the week, and I'll be live reacting to them so that we can see, if I'm interested in them or not. In addition, I've got some good updates regarding various different topics. And of all things that I did not expect, Tech USA tweeted last night, and we're going to talk about it because everyone wants me to talk about it, so we will. All right, all this and more on today's jam-packed episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
I tripped. I had to blow my nose, and I tripped on my wiring. So if you give me a second here to fix it, I want to make sure everything's working. Hopefully it is. Hopefully I didn't screw up my capture device. Hold on, let's test it. Oh, we're working. Okay, good. I was nervous because every time that something like this happens, I have bad luck. And I'm like, man, did I just bust everything? Hopefully not. Okay, hold on. Okay. Crisis averted. Welcome to the show, everyone. Sorry about that. Today is Saturday, the 28th of September, 2024. If you can believe it, this is it, the end of September, which means officially we're going to be heading into spooky season as soon as possible here. It's going to be October. It's going to be Halloween-themed fun here on the channel. As you know, in October, what I do is I change my backdrop to have some Halloween-themed stuff. And this year, with this new digital frame, I'm going to be able to have all these cool Halloween-themed animations that I'm going to be playing in the background, along with all the normal stuff that I usually do. So I'm very excited. I hope that you guys are too. It's right around the corner, and that means you're also going to be starting to nominate games for me to play during my upcoming Halloween Horror Marathon, which takes place on Halloween. I dress up in costume, and we have a good time. It's going to be a good one. We didn't get to do one last year because I was sick. I had COVID. So this year is like, yes, let's do it. The big return Halloween event after 2 years away. I'm excited for it for sure. I hope you guys are too. So, last week was a doozy, wasn't it? Last week was an 8 straight days of streaming week for me. Yes, I know that 8 days is more than a week, but for me, that's considered my work week, right? It was wild. There was so much stuff going on, and because of that, I essentially got caught up with so many things that I felt like I was kind of like, let me put it this way, like I made big progress in games, but then the podcasting kind of suffered a little bit because I appeared on the Cultaholic show, which isn't live yet, because some people have been asking, when can we see you on Cultaholic? We're still waiting. What's going on here? And I said, well, they have a show where basically their stuff goes live for their patrons first. So the people who are pledging to the Cultaholic Patreon got to see the show as of Wednesday. They're putting it public and live tomorrow for everyone on the internet. So if you're looking, where's the Dark Side Phil interview on Cultaholic? It's called Desert Island Graps, and it should be live tomorrow. They said Sunday is when it's going to go live for everyone publicly. So if you want to see that, go check it out. I really enjoyed the interview. I thought it went really well. Anyway, so that happened. And then, of course, I had an interview back on Thursday with Ptolemio, who is a streamer, and, it was an interesting interview, to say the least. You can watch it in its entirety here. I also did a couple like highlights that I broke out, so you can give it a look. And FYI, now what I'd like to do for the next week to 2 weeks, I need to get back into the rhythm of normalcy. I need to finish up games that I'm playing, select the next slew of games that I'm going to be playing, start doing, normal topics and stuff, because it was such a weird week last week. But at the same time, it's a short week. This week is only a 4-day streaming week for me. I know that sounds weird because it is. My schedule has been all over the place. As you know, it's because my wife's work is kind of like changing her schedule every single week, and it's making it hard for us to kind of arrange personal stuff. Like, we don't know what days off each week we're going to have that can coincide with like getting appointments done and stuff like that. And in fact, that's exactly what it is that this week we have some appointments set up for Wednesday. So Wednesday has to be my next day off, which means I'm here today, tomorrow, Sunday for my React day, Monday and Tuesday, and that's it. Then I'm off on Wednesday again, okay? So FYI, it's a little weird. Sorry about that. But, I'll let you know after, once I find out her next week's work schedule, what's going on, and hopefully we'll have like a normal week around here. Not a super long one, not a super short one, but like usually my normal weeks are around 6 days, right? So I'll let you know. But, we got a lot going on, right? Like, for example, I have a bunch of game stuff to catch up with you guys that came out of the State of Play as well as Tokyo Game Show. Particularly today, I have narrowed it down to 4 particular trailers that I would like to watch live with you and do live reacts with. So I certainly hope that you guys will join me for that. I think it's going to be fun to go through all the gaming stuff from the week that I kind of missed, but it's more interesting to me now to be able to sit down and focus on all of it together. In addition, I have some positive updates. I have a big update on my merchandise store, which is going to launch likely sometime this weekend. In fact, I'm just waiting for the final update because there's a couple things that were not updated properly. Not properly, but they weren't updated because they didn't have all the information, like product descriptions and stuff. But for the most part, my merch shop is kind of ready to go. It just needs to get that final update and seal of approval. And I was debating possibly even maybe showing you the shop today because I actually have early access to it. Like, you can't do anything with it unless you have access to it, and I have access to it. So I was thinking maybe I could show you some of the products, but it depends. That's like the last thing we should do because I have other things to cover. I want to watch and react to these game trailers. If you can believe it, out of nowhere, Review Tech USA tweets yesterday in the most ridiculous manner, and we'll talk about it. We're going to do a segment on that today, too. It's like, the thing for me is professionalism, right? Like, with all these people that I've been dealing with over the years, there's some people that seem to know how to be professional, and there's other people that act like they were born yesterday and they don't know what they're doing. And it's just so silly because, like, so in the last 2 months, I've been on several shows. I've had a lot of people on my show, right? There's a way that you kind of do this stuff. Him publicly tweeting out to the world like he did is just so ridiculously unhinged and silly that I don't even know if you take it seriously. We'll address this today. We're going to have a segment where we're going to do this, okay? Fair enough. Okay. So anyway, we have a lot to talk about. Where should we begin? I think we should start with, I want to talk a little bit about Metaphor because I played Metaphor all day back on Thursday, right before I had my day off, and I didn't really get to really like summarize it for you guys after having played it all day. And FYI, we didn't beat the demo yet. I think how crazy that is. I played it for like 4.5 hours and we didn't beat the demo. The demo is apparently, from what people are saying, around 6 to 7 hours long if you take your time. And apparently there's a hidden dungeon in the demo that you can unlock if you know how to do it. And someone actually sent me the instructions to do it. And apparently that unlocks even more content in the demo. Like, what kind of a demo is this, right? It's absolutely ridiculous that the demo is that long and has that much content in it. Here's what I think about Metaphor ReFantasio after having played 4.5 hours of the demo, okay? Graphics are absolutely outstanding. It's basically the best JRPG I've ever really played visually. Now, when I mean that, I mean, in the JRPG style, where the characters kind of look anime-ish and stuff like that, that unique Persona style. The graphics are outstanding. I don't think you can really criticize that. I heard some people are criticizing the graphics, but when I looked into this, I found out what they're criticizing is that if you play the game at 4K, it has issues. Like the game chugs along at 4K and everyone's complaining the 4K resolution version of the game sucks. I'm playing it at 1080p with full 120 hertz, 120 frames per second. It's gorgeous. I've never played an RPG with a high frame rate. So I'm playing it with this frame rate, like, oh my lord. Like, it's just like the epitome of what you want if you're a JRPG fan like I am. It was really, really cool looking. Now, music. The music's great. The music is outstanding. It's kind of the same in the same vein as Persona, only it's more like almost like an orchestral with a choir style. You know, Persona is more modern, jazzy, pop culture-ish. This is more like, you know, epic, over the top, Lord of the Rings-ish almost, right? And I'm really enjoying that for now. By the way, I will shout out contributions in a sec. I apologize because a couple people contributed and I forgot to shout them out. I will shout them out in just a sec. Let me finish metaphor thoughts and then we'll get to that, okay? Graphics, music, outstanding, okay? Story. At first, the first whole hour and a half is so much story elaboration, it starts to bog you down. But then once things start moving, the story actually gets much better and much more interesting. I'm kind of hooked. Now, I don't want to spoil you on the story, but essentially there's a king is assassinated. There's a line of succession that's uncertain. There's a plot going down to take over the kingdom, and therefore you're in a group of people who are trying to stop this plot from happening. And so you're kind of like undercover, and you are teaming up with various different people to try to make this, you know, the right thing happen for the kingdom. There's magic. There's interesting things. I think Game of Thrones, but definitely more anime-ish, right? It really does feel like Game of Thrones combined with Persona. Like, that's really the best way to describe it, I think. And I'm really having a good time with it. Like, I am really enjoying the plot of Metaphor. I think it's great. I'm having a good time. At first, again, I was like, oh no, is this going to be another, is this going to be yet another situation like Final Fantasy 16, where it's try-hardish, where they're really trying to be like Game of Thrones way too late? But it's really not. If you liked Persona, but if you prefer fantasy rather than the modern setting, this is going to be right up your alley. It's got its own lore that's already established. Right away, you start learning about this interesting world and how it works. These monsters that they actually call humans, and that's kind of an interesting twist. Why are humans considered monsters in this world? So, really good stuff. So far, I'm having a great time with it. Now, the gameplay mechanics, admittedly, are very similar to Persona. You know, you're wandering around dungeons or areas, and there's monsters, and you can get the jump on them if you sneak attack them from behind. Or if you hit them enough that you stagger them before they get to attack you, then it initiates turn-based combat, and the turn-based combat, again, is very similar to Persona. If you even get the sneak attack, you get like an extra turn or a faster turn. It's not exactly like Persona. There are things that are tweaked a little bit to make it different. But man, it actually feels good. It does. Like, after having played it 4.5 hours, I was immersed. I was like sucked right in. And I was like, dude, at first I was skeptical, but I want to play this now. Like, I'm actually into it. But herein lies the rub of all of that, okay? I had a great time playing Metaphor all day on Thursday. I played it on the first and second streams. But man, the stream attendance, we couldn't even hold 200 viewers. Now, I'm enjoying the game. I'm commentating on it. I'm having great conversation with the audience as I play. It's an immersive game. We can't hold 200 viewers. What's the problem with that? Is there a problem with that? Well, here's the deal. Obviously, I'm in a situation where I want to be entertaining an audience. And I would say for the people who were here, they were highly entertained. People were having a great time watching Metaphor. However, in this overall scheme of things, yeah, I'm trying to get an audience that's going to be around and it's going to retain, and it's going to be something worth my time. When there's a million other games out and everyone wants to see me play a different thing, does it make sense to play a game that I can't even get 200 people on a stream because it's a JRPG? And I'm just going to say this up front. That's really what it is at this point. It's not that the game is bad. It's not that my gameplay and commentary is bad. It's that it's a JRPG. Because people will come by to see me play a FromSoft game or a Souls-like. People will come by to see me play fighting games. People will come by to see me play Call of Duty. People love it when I play a horror game. But the moment that I play a JRPG, it's like the plague hit the stream. And people are running to the hills. And I just don't understand this kind of like prejudice against JRPGs. Because personally, I love them. Okay? I think that they're chill experiences and they're super fun, right? Did they fix it, Darziak? He says, I think membership gifting is fixed. I'm going to check. It is fixed. It took a whole week and they fixed membership gifting on YouTube. And I have 5 memberships to gift out. Well, I think I'm going to gift them out. Perhaps I'll gift them out during a stream today, during one of the gameplay streams. Dude, it took so long. That was over a week that that thing was busted. Oh, this is cool because also now I'll be able to check on my React channels tomorrow, right? DSP Reacts and DSP Throwback. Maybe I can give some memberships out there too. Dude, nick of time because the month's about to end, right? So we almost had some wasted memberships. All right, cool. Thanks for checking. Man, I got to give those out later. Okay. Anyway, so in particular, here's the deal. Here's what happened with Metaphor. We had low attendance, but the people that were there seemed to be engaged in having a good time. And then we actually resumed the king streak. Yeah, people actually did support the stream. Now, admittedly, there was 1 or 2 people who did large contributions. Like on one stream, someone did a $99 tip, okay? But in general, we hit the streak, and you know what I mean? Like, so the people who were there, maybe there wasn't a large crowd, but they were an engaged crowd who liked it and did support. So here's the thing, like, I want to finish the demo. We are finishing the Metaphor demo this week. I think I'm going to do it on Tuesday, okay? And once we're done, of course, there's going to be discussion. Should I play it? Because it's coming out right away. I think it's like October 11th. So we're almost to the release of it already. I'm down for it. But the way I see it, this has to be a playthrough that would be balanced with other more popular games that are going to bring more people to the streams. I can't be having 150-person streams and expect that I'm going to be operating a business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to have things that are going to have people come and engage in support, not, oh, I'm playing this for myself, right? Now, if people who are there who do come to watch this game are engaged and do support the streams, then it's not going to be a problem. Even if we have 150, 200 people, it's not a big deal as long as they are there to have a good time and they support the streams. But, you know, here's the deal with that. Initially, it might go well, but what happens when we're now on stream number 10 of the game, stream number 15 of the game, right? And basically then people are like, well, it's taking too long to get through it. Well, yeah, it's a 100-hour JRPG. People are saying it's going to be just as long as Persona. So if that's the case, expect that if we're playing this game, this is going to be a game that's going to take months to beat. And we have to all be on board for that. It can't be I start playing Metaphor, and then on week 3, people are so bored, no one shows up, and everyone complains it takes too long, right? So for me, I'm totally okay with it. This could be our JRPG for the rest of the year. I'm down for that. But I want other people to be down for that as well. Are you? That's the real question here. Are you down for this to happen and for this to be our JRPG for the rest of the year? I think the graphics are great. The gameplay is great. The story is good. If all the elements are there, I think it can work and be a great playthrough, but I need your buy-in. All right? So I want feedback. Should this be our incredibly lengthy JRPG, or is this something no one wants and I should just skip it? All right? I need your feedback on that. Okay? Following up on that, all right? So over my day off, quite a few people actually contacted me. It was about 4 different people who have actually been playing the new Zelda game. It's called Zelda something of Echoes or something like that. It's the new Zelda game that just came out on Wednesday. It stars Zelda instead of Link. And the feedback I'm getting is, it's a great game. Hardcore Zelda fans will absolutely love it. My audience is not going to like it, and I shouldn't play it on stream. I was outright told that directly by someone being very honest with me. They're like, I like your content. I know you'll enjoy the game, but knowing your audience, no one's going to like this game. It basically is a hybrid between old school Zelda and an open world formula like Breath of the Wild. There's not a lot of direction. There's a lot of exploration and time killing in the open world. And basically, yeah, there's like, listen, this is first party, great Nintendo stuff, but it's not stuff that your audience is going to be caring about because they basically don't like that kind of thing. You want more action. You want more excitement. You want horror during October, right? And I get that. But yeah, I'm just, I after getting that feedback, I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like Zelda ain't going to work. And it sucks because I love Zelda. You know, I really do. I think Zelda's a great franchise. I love classic Zelda. But from the feedback I'm getting, it's probably a bad idea. It's going to be something I buy and I play once and everyone shows up and then says, wow, this is boring. And the next stream, I can't get anyone on it. So it might be a skip for me. Okay. So Metaphor, 2 thumbs up. I really loved the gameplay demo. We're going to finish it later this week on Tuesday. And I'm excited for it, but I need buy-in that people are going to show up and actually, you know, hang out and support if I play it as a playthrough. I'm nervous about that. I genuinely am. That I'm going to get this game, and then we're not going to have enough people to have it be this ongoing playthrough. Let's see what happens with that. Okay? Okay. Let's do some quick shout outs because now we have a bunch of shout outs to do. And then we'll get to our next topic, which will be the schedule. And then we're going to react to some game trailers. Oh, we got to do the Rich thing, too. We'll probably react to the Rich thing first because I want to get that out of the way. Okay. So, shout outs. So, first off, thank you to the Villain who re-upped their membership for a whopping 40 months at the super supporter level. I appreciate you supporting me for so long, the Villain. Cabal just did a 10-pound super chat and says, here's to another comfy and chill DSP weekend stream. I hope that you're all enjoying your weekends so far. I as well hope that everyone's enjoying their weekends. I don't know what you guys are up to, but thanks for coming and stopping by DSPGaming. We're going to have a lot of fun today with the continuing on playthroughs, which we'll talk about in just a moment. That's our first contribution of the day for the leaderboard. Thank you for that. So, guys, we did hit the king streak. Not only did we hit a second one, we did a third one, too. So let's keep that momentum going now, obviously, right? Now that it's back, and now that I've changed these goals to, I think, what you guys want. So, number one, $150 per stream. Number two, it includes both super chats, super stickers, and tips. It includes all of those contributions into the total. That way, everyone is counted. No one feels left out, and you can contribute however you want. You don't have to be pressured to either do a YouTube contribution or a PayPal contribution. You get credit no matter what. And in addition, having the top super chatter as well as the top tipper, that gives everyone credit for their contributions on the leaderboard as well. It seems like this is the thing that's working, right? Like, we've messed with it for about a week and a half, and now it feels like very nice, right? So, let's see how it goes. Let's keep it coming today. Please contribute in some way, and thank you so much. And speaking of which, with 350 viewers and climbing, right? We have 42 likes, guys. Let's get that up to 100 likes. Right now, if you're watching the stream and you're having a good time and you're ready for all the fun topics that we're about to do, please click like on the stream. The engagement is key. Engagement helps me an absolute ton here on YouTube, and I certainly hope that if you're enjoying that, you would do me the favor of just clicking like on the stream right now. And if you're watching this on demand, as an on-demand video, because many people do that, also please click the like button. If you like the content, it helps a ton. Okay? Thank you so much. Now, shout out to Perry the White, who did a 5 membership bomb, and I think that they were all given out, but YouTube or my leaderboard here didn't capture them all. So congrats to the 5 people who got to give them memberships from Perry the White. And then Darziak just gifted 5 memberships to the community. Thank you to Darziak for the 5 gifted memberships. So we got 10 already this morning. That is excellent. I hope that you guys enjoy, and thank you guys for your support. And in addition, I just got a super chat from Tag, $2, and he says, are you going to play Sparking Zero, the DBZ game? It seems like everyone wants me to, right? Like, at first, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a skip, because I said, you know, these Dragon Ball games, they all have exactly the same plot. They're all just reliving the history of Dragon Ball over and over, and I've now played a bunch of them. You know, you're looking at Xenoverse 1 and 2, and what was the other one that I played a few years ago, or whatever it was? But I'm like, if it's just going to be the same thing again and again and again, you know, I get the feeling that, like, it gets burnt out. But I think what's happened is people are now getting excited because I haven't played a Dragon Ball game in a long time. And supposedly this one is like the biggest one ever. It's going to have an insanely huge roster. It's going to have a story mode, but also online gameplay. And I think people are just excited for Dragon Ball again. And, of course, I have a PC now. So no matter what I play, I'm playing the best version, right? So I think it's probably a yes if that's what you guys want. If that's what you guys feel like and you want me to play it, I think I'm down for it. Just for an example, let's quickly go through the month. Listen to this. So Silent Hill 2, the remake, comes out October 8th. Yes, I'm playing that 100%. Metaphor comes out on October 11th. Plus Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero comes out October 11th. There you go. The Sonic X Shadow Generations game comes out the 25th. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is the 25th. Life is Strange Double Expanse 29th. And the new Dragon Age Veilguard is October 31st. But also keep in mind that day is my Halloween marathon. So just with those games I just listed, that's like the month. That's a packed month, right? Like literally, that's a crazy good packed month of content that I think would do well. What we need to do is figure out what we're going to be doing in between. And that is where we're going to have to find out, you know, what game also should I be playing until those new games start hitting. And I think we're going to figure that out sooner rather than later. It looks like this week I will likely either be beating Astrobot today or one more stream. And I'll likely be beating the casting of Frank Stone on Monday or one more stream. And then after that, we need something new. And I know we've all been talking about various different things. You know, one of the considerations has been Dead Rising Remastered. Another consideration is the new Epic Mickey Rebrushed. I think we're going to take Zelda off the table because it just doesn't feel like people are going to care about Zelda. So let's talk and think about this. And, me personally, the way I'm seeing it, I mean, it's October. It's horror month, right? Everyone wants horror styled stuff. So I think that Dead Rising makes sense. I don't know how many people are going to care about me playing Epic Mickey for the first time in over like 13 years. But I guess what we need to do is see, because we have to see how much time we have. If I end up beating Astrobot today and we beat the casting of Frank Stone quick, we're going to need more stuff to fill time. If I end up essentially, taking longer to beat those, then we probably only are going to want to pick like one game. So we got to figure this out, okay? Hold on one second. Had to adjust my curtain because I'm trying to get the lighting down now for the daytimes here. And it's weird. Like, basically the sun moves across the front of the house in the day. So I have to figure out which curtains to have open. And right now the sun was going to hit the PC. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. So I got to figure out curtain wise how to do this and finagle this over the fall. So now the sun's like right on me, right? But I could also just close the curtain. Yeah. So now I basically blacked out most of the room, but then I opened the side of the curtain and that's getting air. But now that sun is eventually going to hit the PC. It's like, this is all a learning process, my friends. I'm sorry that, I'm kind of jumping all around here and trying to figure stuff out. So there you go. All right. Anyway, thank you so much to I'm Troublesome. I'm Troublesome just gifted 10 memberships to the community. So that's 20 gifted members already this morning. Thank you guys so very much for supporting the channel. This is actually very important at month end too, because this is like the last hurrah for the month. And so this helps a lot to get this month end support. It's a big push. It helps a little boost because, hey, August was like the best month I've had in years. Seriously. And I think you all know why. September, things were still good, above average, but slowed down a lot. So now I'm hoping to get some momentum back with some things that are going to be going on in October, right? We'll see what happens with that. Okay, so this week, here's the schedule. Today, Astrobot, and we're going to try to finish it. I don't know if we're going to finish it today, but I get the feeling we'll get pretty far, if not right to the end. We have a few stages left in World 5, plus the boss fight and then the post-boss fight fight. Then we've got this one more secret world to do, and I think that unlocks a final secret world, so we have all this secret stuff to do. And then after that, whatever's left, because I don't know what will be left at the end of the game. Once you get to that point, you have to figure it out. So, yeah, I guess we will see what happens today with Astrobot, but fingers crossed we'll probably get near the end and finish it, okay? Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's WWE Champions, the final stream of the game for the month, because it is the end of the month-long event. And the month-long event has been this new bloodline thing with, Solo Sikoa taking over for Roman Reigns and all his crew. It's been a fun event. It kind of sucks that I wasn't able to participate in it more because of the limitations of the game locking you out of getting rewards and the like until you level up. And I got League 8 when I played it the other day. So tonight I'll try to grind some more and try to get closer to League 9 because the higher league you get, the further you can get into these monthly events. And let me tell you, October is going to be fun. Why? It's Halloween Horror Month, which means zombie wrestlers. Yes, in October, they put all bunch of zombie wrestlers out, and it's a fun month because of that. So I think it's going to be perfect to tie in with everything that we're doing on streams. It should be a great time. But tonight, the final champion stream of the month. And then tomorrow is React Day, meaning we're going to be doing DSP versus the Internet, my clip show on DSP Reacts. And then we're going to be doing the Retro React stream on DSP Throwback at night. We're going to finish up Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. The playthrough will conclude finally after a month of reacting to that. And then after that, we're going to select, do we want to react to Silent Hill 1 or 2 next? I'm curious what you guys will want, okay? So, should be fun. I'm excited for the next couple of days. Now, on Monday, we'll get into full gameplay again. And on Monday, what I want to do is play more of the casting of Frank Stone and see if we can either beat it or set it up for one more stream to complete. Monday night, we're going to do some Street Fighter 6 with Terry Bogard again. So the first time and only time I'm playing fighting games during the week, I believe. And then Tuesday, the day stream will actually be the conclusion of the Metaphor demo. And then the night stream on Tuesday will be WWE Champions, the premiere of the Zombies event, which will be very fun to see the zombies that they put into the game and all of that. Okay? So good stuff coming this week. That's the schedule because Wednesday's my day off. I know that's weird because you're like, wow, that's a really short week. You're absolutely right. It is a really short week for me. But the week after that, I'm hoping it's going to be more normal and more like a normal length week. But I can't tell you yet because we don't have my wife's work schedule yet. Okay. All right. I've had enough. I'm just going to completely close the curtains for now. At this point, the sun is just pissing me off because it's in a position where no matter what I do, it's hitting the PC. So I think what I have to do is wait till like later afternoon. And then maybe once we start with gameplay, then I can open the blinds better and it won't hit the PC anymore because I don't want my PC or my PS4 or PS5 with sun on them. So, okay. Cool. So that's the schedule for the week. I hope that sounds good. Now, I would like to address the silly drama in the room. Let's get this out of the way, folks. All right. By the way, 363 viewers, 64 likes. Let's get to 100 likes. If you're here and you're having a good time, please like the stream. Thank you, everyone, for the early support. Right now, the top super chatter is Cabal. And we also got a whole bunch of gifted memberships, but we don't have no tips. Let's get some tips going. Let's get that going so that way we can get this King's Coffers goal moving for the day, right? Let's get it moving in the right direction. Okay, so are you ready? Let's do this. Let's get this out of the way so we can move on to better stuff because I want to react to a bunch of game trailers, all right? So here's the deal, all right? As you know, last month, all right, I did a big, co-reacting the Review Tech USA documentary by June the King along with the guys from Kino Casino. It was pretty darn epic, and if you missed it, it's in its entirety on my DSP Reacts channel, and also I even took highlights out of it there as well, all right? It was the big epic moment where I felted Rich, and I got his last chip, and I still have it right here, right? It was a pretty awesome moment, and people are remembering this as one of the momentous things that happened here this year. Well, after that, basically I did an interview, Keemstar, and he's like, what you should do is you should have these people who have gripes with you or you have gripes with as part of your content right away, Stuttering Craig and Review Tech USA, and get it done with, that would be good content. Everyone wants to see it. So I said, you know what, let's do it. So I reached out to Craig, and we had our interview, and of course we had a big disagreement or whatever, but who cares? Now that's at least done, right? Like, we're not going to have interactions anymore. We're done with each other. That's it. We move on, right? But Review Tech basically completely ignored me for a very long time. I'm not even kidding you. For over a month, I basically had messaged him. Oh, I'm sorry, Dark Ethan. I will shut that out in a moment. I did miss your super chat. Basically, I private messaged him on Twitter. And I asked him about appearing on the show, saying now is the time to do this, Let's hash it out. Let's find out what your actual problem with me supposedly is after all these years of you harassing me and shit, Now everyone wants you on my show rather than me coming on yours, so let's make this happen. And he ghosted me for about a month. Like, he wouldn't respond at all, okay? Then, and I haven't told you guys this, he started acting really bizarre. Like, he started tweeting me weird. He tweeted me a picture of LTG. I'm serious. Not tweeted me. He DM'd me. Excuse me. He DM'd me a picture of LTG. And I DM'd him back, and I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? Yeah, I'm already, like clowning on this guy on the internet because he doesn't know how to do business. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. Then he sent me a picture of, like, a guy, like an old man, being startled by, like, a parrot. And I was like, I really don't know what the hell this means, Rich. And then I realized, I was like, he's just high. Like, he's just high as shit all the time now. And he just does stupid shit because he's high as fuck all the time. Right? So I gave up. I was basically like, at this point, I don't give a crap. Like, I just don't see the point in me pursuing doing anything with this guy because I don't think anything's going to come of it. I think that he's literally just high all the time. His streams, everyone says the only reason people attend his streams is to fucking make fun of him because he's a train wreck now. It's not like people are attending his streams because they like him and like the content. They're only attending because they want to basically, razz the guy and fucking troll him. And that's sad, because this is a guy who has 1 million subs on YouTube and used to have a giant following and a lot of people who liked him and a successful business, and he himself tanked it. He tanked his own business. It's pretty pathetic. Now, hold on. Thank you, Dark Ethan, for a $15 Canadian super chat. I believe that would be probably more than Cabal. I know that Canadian dollars aren't as much as US dollars, but I'm not going to sit here and get out my currency converter. But thank you for that, Dark Ethan. Cool. Okay, so here's the deal, right? I haven't heard from this guy directly. All I've had is these two responses of random pictures and shit. And I want to say it was like 3 or 4 days ago. I DM'd him one last time, and I made it clear this was the last time I was going to DM him. I was like, so this is your last chance, all right? At this point, I don't know why you won't even just respond and say no, but all I'm saying is this could be an opportunity for us to finally hash it out, whether it's the last time we talk or whatever, who cares? But this way we have a conversation about it rather than it just being bad blood. It could go very much like the Keemstar interview did, or it might not. I don't know. But I have no intention of having you on my show and treating you like dirt or whatever. I want to have a real conversation with you about everything and what the hell has really been going on all this time. So, I think you should take the opportunity, because right now, I hate to say it, it's sad what's happening with you and your business and stuff like that, and that was it. So that was like 3 or 4 days ago. All right. Did I get a response? No, he didn't respond. Okay. So I'm done with the guy at this point, right? I'm like, I gave him a chance. It's been over a month. I've been asking him to be on my show. He will not respond. He sends me stupid pictures instead. He's probably high off his ass. I'm done with this guy, right? So there you go. So all of a sudden, last night, some people start reaching out to me. Are you aware that Rich tweeted you? No, I'm not aware, because he's muted. Like, he's muted in my timeline, because if I have him unmuted, he'll tweet dumb shit, and then 1 million idiots will also retweet or do, and it just floods my timeline with nonsense. So he's not banned or blocked, but he is muted, so I don't have to see his dumb shit when he does tweet stuff, right? So apparently he tweets me. All right, we're gonna take a look at this together. This is what he tweets last night. You ready for this? Let's see if we can pick this and decipher what we're looking at here. This was on my day off, by the way, so that's why I wasn't actively checking Twitter. I didn't know that he had done this. Someone had to tell me, right? So here's what he says. Hey, they call me DSP. I'm down to do that interview this upcoming week. Let's go. And he tweets, Batman versus the Diddler. Diddle me this Batman, and it's P. Diddy with 2 things of baby oil in his hands, running around, and Batman is appalled. Okay? So, for the record, this is a meme that's been on the internet for a few days, ever since P. Diddy got arrested, and apparently is being indicted on all kinds of, like, sex trafficking charges and all kinds of crazy shit. I'm not exactly sure what is going on with the situation. I don't follow that shit. So, I'm reading it. First of all, what does this have to do with this? Do either of us have any involvement with sex trafficking rings? And have any of us been arrested by the FBI? No, not to maybe on his end, at least not on my end. On my end, things are pretty squeaky clean over here. There's nothing going on like that. But I don't know what's going on his end. Maybe this is him coming clean. I don't know. I really have no idea. All right, but it's very confusing. Why he would, like, what does this have to do with this? I have no idea whatsoever what this means. But I can tell you right now, all right? Immediately, for me, why is he doing it like this? Like, I'm not going to show you our DMs, right? But literally, I've been DMing this guy on and off, like maybe like once a week, once every other week for the past month and a half, and he's just not been responsive. He's ignored me, or the few times he's responded, he put up a random picture that's nothing to do with anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, so what the hell? Why would you, if he was actually, first of all, if he was serious about this and he actually does want to do an interview with me, right? Why would he publicly post it like this instead of responding to the DMs that are already open, where I've talked to him about this and he ignored me? So that's number one, makes no sense whatsoever why he would do it like this, right? Number two, what is this supposed to mean? Is this insinuating something? I really have no idea. It doesn't even make sense to post something like this because now, of course, everyone's wondering what the fuck he's talking about. Because it has nothing to do with me. That's for sure, right? It's like, what are you talking about? here's the other thing too, right? I'm down to do that interview this upcoming week. Let's go. Who said that I wanted to interview this week? Who even, do you know my schedule? As I've already said, this week is a weird week for me. I have a 4-day streaming week that's really short, where I have to do a lot of content in a short period of time. And I don't even know what my next week's streaming schedule is. I'm currently working on getting 2 different guests on the show. And they may be in the first half of October. So if that's the case, what makes you think that now, because you decided to respond, that now I drop everything that I'm working on for you to be on the show? Like, who made you the king of the universe that you're more important, right? Like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, even if he wants to be on the show, he's not going to be on the show this week. I had no plans on doing an interview this week. I just did one last week, and I told you guys I don't want to do an interview every week. I feel like that's taking up too much of my time when I should be making progress in games and the like. So why am I going to have him on the show this week? And the answer is I'm not. Like, even if we agree to it, he's not coming on this week. That's just not happening, okay? But it's this simple, all right? You have to contact me via DMs so we can talk it out, figure out how we're going to do it, what the schedule is, all of that. It's not going to be you yelling out to the void of Twitter, hey, I want to do something. No one cares. You might as well, you see the wall that's next to you in your house right now, Rich? You can yell at that fucking wall too, and that's going to give you more of a response than me. Do you remember when Keemstar just started yelling shit out on his Twitter account and how effective that was? It wasn't effective at all, was it? What you need to do is be a professional for once in your life. Contact me behind the scenes, just like I've been sending you these DMs, and just respond and talk about it, okay? It's that simple, okay? So it's that simple, right? So I don't even know what else, he's getting at here, right? This has nothing to do with me at all. This is P. Diddy, sex trafficking, and, pretty much, underhanded sex things in the rap community. It has nothing to do with me at all, right? So I don't know. And again, until he actually, maybe stops being high, because I did respond to this, by the way. I don't know if it does. So I said, are you high again, Rich? You should respond to the DM instead of yelling to the public, because that's what someone with brain cells remaining would do. Exactly right. I feel like this is like his brain has been addled so badly by those edibles he's eating that for some odd reason now it's dawned on him that it's a good idea to do the interview with me. I can't imagine why he would think that after, the best time to do it would have been right after I reacted to his documentary, right? It would have been right on his heels, and people would have cared. At this point, I'll be honest, I mean, there's some people who care, but not that many anymore. He waited too long, right? You got to strike when the iron is hot. The iron's not hot anymore. No one's talking about Rich. He's an afterthought. He's forgotten to the internet. The only people who watch him are people who are laughing at him as a joke. Nobody cares. For him to be on my show, right? I mean, it could go different ways. It could be, it's a completely cordial conversation, and we actually talk about things going on in each other's lives, and we find out what's actually going on with him and maybe the reason why he's basically been so bad to me over the years. And we can actually hash it out like men, and we can have an ending where it's like, well, listen, I don't like you, but I guess we can stop being at each other's throats from now on, right? Now, that's a lot of stuff coming out of Rich, because Rich is the kind of guy that he says one thing and then he stabs you behind the back, right? I've told you, I reached out to this guy, all right? When it became public knowledge on the internet that his daughter was very ill, I reached out to him despite all the nasty things he said about me, and I let him know that I felt very bad about what's going on, and I wished him the best, right? And then later that day, he goes on the internet and he shitposts me on his Twitter account. As it, he thanked me for the message, and then he went and crapped on me. Then later on, it's revealed, oh, well, Phil only did that because he's trying to look good. And so I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, sometimes I genuinely feel bad for people. When Boogie announced his cancer, I also DM'd him to wish him the best, right? Like, when these things happen, sometimes you reach out, you say, listen, I just wish you the best. It's really sad this is happening, and the world has your back when these awful things happen. Hopefully things get better for you. No, to him, everything's a hidden agenda. Everything's like some fucking weird thing to spin for a positive way. No, Rich, that's probably what you would do. You understand? That's what a snake does. I'm not a snake. I don't care. Do you think I care about my fucking public image? No one likes me anyway, right? So what are you talking about? It was a private message to you to wish you the best. and then you crapped on me the same day. That's not something that a fucking nice person does. You're not a nice person. And I think that's the point, is that if he comes to this interview with me, he's got some explaining to do of why he's behaved in such a heinous way over the years to me. Why is it that he feels that the only way he can make a paycheck is to rag on Darkside Phil? Because that's all it is at this point. It's like, oh, how do I get a rise out of the internet, these shitbags on the internet, and get people to watch my content today? Oh, let's do a crap on Darkside Phil stream, right? And he does it, and then the same morons show up and fucking support his shitbaggery. And, you know, but that's it. Like, no one cares about his actual opinions about anything anymore. No one's watching his content positively. They're only there for a-logging of people, and notably him, right? So, that's what I think the purpose would be. Let's hash it out, and at least at the end of the day, we can say we had the conversation and we move on, whether it's meaningful or not, whether there's a resolution or not, right? But I don't think he's willing to do that. I think what'll happen is he'll come on, and no matter what he says in the interview won't matter, because immediately after this interview ends, he's just going to go on doing whatever he wants to do, and it don't matter how harmful it is. He just doesn't seem to have a conscience. He's a man without a fucking conscience. That's all I can really say. Like, that seems to be how this guy operates, right? So, anyway. So here's where I'm leaving it. It's this simple. If he DMs me and we talk about it like professionals behind the scenes and we arrange it for sometime this month, then I'll interview Review Tech, right? If he continues to yell into the void of Twitter and thinking that having a little attention-seeking screaming to the public is going to do anything, he's sorely mistaken. I'm not going to give a shit that he publicly tweets on his timeline 400 times that he wants to be on my show. He'll never be on the show. He has to be a normal human being and act like one, and then I'll treat him like one. All right? So we'll see what happens if he's up to the challenge of acting normal, but it would mean that he has to stop eating edibles for about, maybe 5 minutes one day so that he could actually, like, consciously formulate sentences and type them out in a DM to me that makes sense, right? I mean, it's going to be tough, I feel. But we'll have to see what happens, all right? And the thing is, I had absolutely no intention about talking about this man at all. Understand? I had none. This was not my intention. He's the one who tweeted this to cause this situation. I didn't care. I was done. I told him, I'm done with you. I gave you your chance. You weren't interested. Fine. I get the message. Move on. And now here he is doing this stunt, right? So, all right. So anyway, just to kind of bookend this, I am working on getting a couple different guests. I have two people. My nose itches. I have two people who I'm very interested in having on the show this month. One is a person that's really hard to keep in contact with. Like, I talk to this person and we have a little back and forth, and then I can't reach them for another 2 weeks. And then I get them again and we have a back and forth and it sounds promising. And then I can't get them for another 2 weeks. I'm like, driving me nuts, because this is an interview I'd really like to do. And I feel like this would be interesting content. It would be meaningful content for the channel. All right, I got another interview also that's likely going to happen sometime this month. I haven't 100% locked it in yet, so I don't want to, you know me. I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. I want to lock everything in before I'm telling you guys about these particular guests and appearances, right? So I will let you know. And then, of course, as I already told you, both Wings of Redemption and Boogie are interested on coming on the show, but they're currently on their camping trip for the Lolcow live show. So when they're back from that, then we're going to regroup. And I'm going to talk with those guys about possibly appearing sometime this month. I don't know if I'll be able to get them, either one of them or both, or, I don't know, by the end of the month. But that's going to be, like, next, okay? So we'll see, okay? We shall see what's happening with all of this. But the thing is, remember, I have to balance these appearances with other content. I can't have an entire week of I'm on a show, someone's on my show, I'm on a show, someone's on my show. Now I've done no podcasts and all of my gameplay has suffered, right? Can't do that, especially now during the most busy game of the year, or busy time of the games of the year. I need to be focusing on playing games, finishing games, and having, progress. So let's see. Oh man, excuse me. Let's see how it goes, and go from there. And again, I don't know if anything's gonna happen with this Review Tech thing. Quite frankly, I was already done with it, right? I really was. I was already done with it, and then he comes out of his cave to tweet something stupid. And I'm like, well. All right. But anyway, that's the deal with what's going on with that. All right? Cool. All right. I have a dollar tip to shout out. Take a look here. Hopefully it's not a troll, but it very well could be. A lot of these dollar tips do end up being trolls. Someone says, can you felt your re-streamers? Dedicated viewers are tired of the monetizing without commentary. Yeah, if you're streaming me right now with no commentary, that's completely illegal. And you should be shut down. But I'm not the kind of person who's going to go out of my way to do that. You know me. I'm not. I'm making my content. This is what I focus on, the positivity of it all. I'm not going to sit here and, oh, I have to flag this guy and I have to fucking do this and do this. But these people are shitbags. You get a fucking life. Really. No, I mean it. At least do commentary. Stop being a lazy lump for your whole fucking life. Earn something for once. Do some effort into it and fucking make content instead of just stealing from other people like the scumbags you are. That's all I really have to say about it. There's really nothing else that I can say. I'm not going to sit here flagging people all day. It's not worth my time. Right? Okay. I received a $1.50 tip. Listen to this. Duty was made a moderator for Review Tech USA. If you bring Rich on, it would be a podcast with Duty by proxy, since Rich is going to pester you with stuff Duty tells him to say. I mean, that might be highly entertaining because Duty has about 4 brain cells in his fucking head all bouncing around in there in this big empty void. So it's not, if that's the case, I mean, it would be like the stupid leading the dumb. Nothing really is going to come of it then. Right? I mean, holy shit. That would be something else. Well, thanks for the $1.50 tip. Okay. Anyway. On to our next segment, shall we? In this segment, I'm going to react to 4 different gameplay 4 different gameplay announcement and trailers that came out in the last week, okay? So, this first one is a new game announcement called Hell Is Us, all right? I've been asked to react to this by several different people. I have not seen it, and I know absolutely nothing about the game. This is my honest first-time reaction to this. I know nothing of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this off right. Without further ado, let us take a look at Hell Is Us. Here we go.
I don't remember when it happened, but I remember how I felt. Father told us to hide when they came to our house. Then they took him away.
Heck, what is this?
Mother said I couldn't play.
I'm just looking and I'm looking around like it looks like a war took place. And because these aren't like this, these aren't monsters or zombies, correct? These look like normal humans holding guns. So it almost looked like there was like a military takeover or something.
Outside anymore. Everyone had fled.
Oh, geez, mass graves. Look at that. Is that a mass execution or just a mass grave? Huh.
She said the country was sick.
Oh, so was it a plague? A plague hit the place, maybe.
But we would be okay. Mother always said monsters didn't exist.
Why is there a castle?
I thought they lived under my bed.
What the hell?
They were both wrong.
All right, well, I guess it was a little off. I thought it was a plague, but what the hell is this we're looking at right now? This is pretty disturbing. A body with no genitals, but a gaping hole in its chest. Very, very disturbing.
They live inside our heads.
Why the... This reminds me of something. Like a creepypasta or something that was on the internet years ago. Was he called like the Hollow Man or something like that? I can't remember. But I think I remember something like this already. Oh, actual gameplay. Oh, God. You have to fight these things, huh? Whoa. Whoa. What the? I want to take a look. Oh, yeah, look at that. So there's some weird thing coming out of this creature's body, and it's attached by a tether. I guess that's what they hit you with. The main character kind of reminds me of Death Stranding, doesn't it? The guy, he's like running around with a parka on with like a little robot with him or whatever. Yeah, see, it's like the character from Death Stranding, but you're actually doing like hand-to-hand combat. Whoa, you spin attack. Whoa. I'm trying to pause to see what those things are, but it's hard to catch it. This game is all over the place. It's like, first it was like a modern post-apocalyptic game with zombies, and you realize they're not zombies, it's just weird mutation creatures. And then it's got gameplay that makes it feel kind of like a Devil May Cry style game. It's so weird. It's like a hybrid of so many styles, right? And he's got a drone with him. Hell is us. Huh. Rogue Factor? Who's Rogue Factor? That doesn't sound familiar at all. No information about when it's coming out, huh? Zero. It's just a gameplay reveal trailer. No date. No. It's just PlayStation. Play has no. So I'm not sure what that is. It's hard to tell. Like some people in chat are saying, well, it's like a Souls-like. Is it? I don't think it does look like a Souls-like to me. No, it definitely looks like there's combat that's similar to like a game that you need to have like reactions, but I don't think that's a Souls-like. There's definitely puzzles. You saw some puzzles that were involved there. It looks like a hybrid of several different genres. Like I said, there's definitely a Death Stranding vibe. But there's like a Devil May Cry vibe almost. But I almost got like almost like a Last of Us vibe too, where it's like the post-apocalypse and everything's now run by these militaristic groups, and you know humanity's struggling to survive. So question, because I don't know the answer. Are those monsters the infected humans? Is it that there's some kind of a plague that mutates these people into these monsters? And so what it is like maybe this thing's someone's trying to take over the world and make the whole populace become these subservient monsters or something? I'm not sure, right? Madara's God says this company really hasn't made anything yet, so it's hard to tell if it's going to be good or not. I would say first look, that looks promising. You know, I'm not in love with it, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued for more. I want to see more of what this game may become over time. So, at the very least, it did get my interest, and I want more information about it. It's a shame they have absolutely no information about a release window, right? Okay, that was the first trailer that I wanted to watch for today. Before we move on, it looks like another tip has come in. I received a $1.12 tip from a squirting clown diarrhea. Wow. Well, there's no way I'm putting that on the leaderboard. At all. All right. And it's also not the top tip of the day either, so I don't have to put it on the leaderboard, so that's good. But we're up $30 now, guys. So we're a fifth of the way to the King's Coffers goal for this stream. Please consider supporting in some way. Remember, super chats, super stickers, and tips all count. What I would say is let's get a new top tipper to unseat $1.50. That's really easy to do. Let's get a $5 tip up there. And thank you to everyone who is chilling and enjoying the stream so far. If you are, please give it a like. We have over 350 viewers. Let's get it to 100 likes. We're at 81 right now, so let's try to get 100, okay? All right, cool. All right, up next. Here we go. I did not press play, but it played. That was weird. So, up next. This was a big, shocking announcement of the state of play in the last week. The Ghost of Yotei, instead of it being Ghost of Tsushima 2, they're going in a different direction. Now, I have not seen this, okay? I've heard things about it on social media, but I have not seen it for myself. So I'm just going to watch and react honestly now for the first time with all of you. And let's see what it is. All right, Ghost of Yotei. This is Sucker Punch, right? Sucker Punch makes this?
We are beyond the
No subtitles? What happened? Here we go.
edge of Japan. People come north to disappear.
1603. So I think from what people are saying, this game takes place around 300 years after the time of Jin Sakai. So this is way further forward in Japanese history.
But you are hunting.
I thought that the wolf was talking for a second.
And now, every Ronin here is after you.
You gotta love these subtitles. Every Ronin in here. No, it's Ronin here. The subtitles are so bad, they always are wrong.
Still think you're the hunter?
Oh! They don't seem too afraid of the people being after them. Why is it so Western? What's going on here? Why is it like a Western music theme? Is this in full HD? Hold on. No, it's only 720p. No wonder. I was like, why does it not look so good? Because we're watching it in 720p. Let's make it HD here. The wolf! Dual wielding? Dual wielding. So will she follow the wolf instead of the fox? Jin always followed the fox. Maybe she'll follow the wolf to points of interest. That's kind of interesting. Oh, you okay? Hopefully summer of 2025. And the reason I say that, if you remember, it was the summer of 2020 when Ghost of Tsushima came out. And man, that was a great summer game. Remember how good it was? Because there was really nothing else going on in the summer. So everyone was playing it and everyone was talking about it. Like, that's the vibe we need from this game. Put it out at a time when it's not the midst of a busy gaming season. Put it out when it can be focused on exclusively as a big release. And I think it'll be successful. So, now, so what do I think about that? Well, here's the thing. If they follow the same formulas that they had with Ghost of Tsushima, right? Add some new gameplay elements, some better graphics and stuff. I mean, so Ghost of Tsushima was visually probably one of the best games on PS4, correct? I mean, it was so good looking. So, I'm very excited to see what they do with the new character. You know, Jin Sakai was good, but we had a DLC with him and everything. I feel like his story is kind of told. Like, where else were they going to go with that story, right? In this case, to have a different character in a different time period allows you to set up a whole new plot, right? Interesting new elements. I don't care about the gender of the character. So people freaking out, but it's a woman, it's a woman. It's like, and here's the thing. As long as the story is sound, there's great character development, why do you care about the gender, the age, the race, the creed, religion of the character? Who gives a fuck? As long as it's well done, then that's all that matters, right? You could have a character who's from Pluto, who lands on Earth, and as long as it's a good story, it's still good, right? I don't care. But people freak out about stuff like that for some odd reason. Some people are already saying, if there's no Jin, I'm not going to buy the game. Well, there's not going to be Jin in Sakai because it's 300 years later. Now, at the same time, right? You got the guy, I think he was one of the head-ups in Sony. So they questioned him about this. And he basically said in a public statement that, listen, if you have problems with the protagonist being a woman, then just don't buy the game. And it's like, that basically the way he says it is like, it comes off a little bit like he's pissed. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, having that kind of an attitude with your core audience doesn't always work. Like, look what happened with G4 TV when they said don't watch if you don't like it, and then no one watched and they went out of business within the year. So you got to be careful about the way that you phrase stuff. Like, I totally get what he's saying. Like, what the hell is the problem with you that if it's just a woman, why does it immediately make the game less good than Ghost of Tsushima? That's a really stupid point, right? And I kind of agree with him there. The protagonist can be any gender, anything, as long as it's a well done game. Now, that being said, I do have to say this. Now, because the protagonist is female, I hope that doesn't change the tone of the series. Because have you noticed that usually when you have a game that's male oriented versus female lead oriented, they tend to do certain tropes, certain things. You know, I hope that because there's a woman involved now that they don't go into sexual content or romantic relationships. You notice that wasn't present in Ghost of Tsushima because that wasn't the point of the game. The point was this serious story about revenge and you know, taking back the country. You know, if they add in all this drama shit now because a woman protagonist, that's going to suck. It's going to feel like it's a different game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that shit. I want it to be just as seriously taken as the first game was. Or else don't call it Ghost of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's a new game. If you don't want it to be similar to the first, then don't call it Ghost of whatever, because then people are going to expect that level from the game. Do you get it? A level of seriousness. Not, oh, we have to have drama. There has to be romance and sexual content and this and that. And like, no, it doesn't have to have that, right? This is not the 1990s. Not every female protagonist needs to be Lara Croft, right? We don't need to have that level of shit. So... And it's funny because I'm not even kidding you. I haven't seen this yet, but the day this dropped, Twitter was fucking so stupid. You have people putting up memes. Oh, so when the new protagonist gets into a hot spring like Jin Sakai did, I wonder what we're going to see. It's like, you fucking perverts. It's like, dude, the trailer just dropped, and that's the first thought in your mind is I can't wait to see the virtual woman get into a hot spring. You're a fucking creep. What the fuck is your problem? Anyway, personally, I think it looks good. We didn't see much, but what we saw there looks good. Again, as long as it's in line with what we got with the first game, I'm totally down for it. It doesn't have to be the same protagonist. It doesn't have to be the same setting, the same time period. In fact, I think I welcome it being a different time period because now you have a new story to tell, right? It's not the same story rehashed or continued. You have a brand new story to tell. They can keep doing that. Imagine if they do a whole series of 5 games and there's different people over time who had things that happened to them in history and then they had to become an assassin in order to, like, save their people or whatever. That'd be kind of neat. I mean, after 5, probably the formula would be a little tired, but I could see it happening. So I'm excited, and I think that trailer looked great, and that was a good lead-in to the new game. So there you go. Okay, everybody. So that is number 2. The next one that I want to watch is for the final expansion for Alan Wake 2, all right? By the way, shout out to Tag. Tag just became a member this morning. Thank you so very much, Tag, for that. I really appreciate that. Guys, can we get it to 100 likes? We're at 84. There's 375 people on the stream. I'm pretty sure out of that, many of you like the content. You're not all hate-watching A-loggers, are you? So if you like the content, please like the stream. Click like right now. It'll help a ton. Thanks to those who super chatted this morning, and thanks to those who gifted memberships or became a member. Right now, Dark Ethan is the top super chatter. Let's get someone to unseat him right now with a bigger super chat. The top tip is $1.50, guys. Let's get that out there right now. Let's get like a $5 tip. Let's get this momentum in the right direction. So that way we can get these King's Coffers goal moving, and it's not about, you know, all afternoon people saying, oh, is he going to hit it? Is he going to hit it? Let's do it, okay? Thank you. Okay. Excuse me. All right, guys, let's, I'm going to do this. So hopefully when I'm clipping this, it makes this easier for me because I'm going full screen and back. Okay, so, up next, the Alan Wake 2 Lake House expansion teaser trailer. This is the final expansion for Alan Wake 2 coming up later this year, right? I don't know exactly the date. I think I might have it in here. So I have not seen this at all. So let's watch it. Here we go.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility.
The Lake House.
The Lake House. If I
Haven't
had
found yet.
any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Oh, man. What's crazy about this is, right? The entity in the lake, even in all of Alan Wake 1 and 2, you still don't actually know what the entity in the lake is at all. All you know is that it's an entity that feeds off of creative forces, whether it's music, writing, art, right? And it takes the creative forces of people who are creative and uses them as instruments to create art, but the art becomes real and it creates horror in real life, correct? So we have no idea what the core of the lake house is, or the core of the lake is, I should say. So the FBC is this bureau that investigates paranormal activity. And if they built the lake house, meaning they were trying to get deep into the lake and find out what this entity is, this may be totally different, right? This could be very interesting. Is this not HD? No, it says it's HD, but it must be really low bit rate because you can see it's all like pixelated in the center. Fuck? So, Federal Bureau of Control, United States of America, right? October. Oh, so it's coming out in October. We just don't know when. So I'm definitely going to check that out. I mean, there wasn't much to that, right?
I would have just kept on driving.
Really, I don't see anything. It's empty, right? I don't see anything here. This is Federal Bureau of Control, United States of America. I'm just trying to see, none. Just supposed to, they're insinuating this is all blood and everything on the walls, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. There very well could be like hints here and stuff, but I don't know. What a short teaser, right? It's like so little given in this. And I'm sure people have micro-analyzed this over the last few days to try to find, like, did you see there's like a tiny pin on this guy's shirt? And it's from, I'm going to figure that out, It's cool it comes out in October. I definitely want to do it. I wonder how long it'll be. I did buy the big collector's edition, not collector's edition, the season pass or whatever, because we already played Night Springs earlier this year. And I'm totally down to play this. In October, it makes sense, especially this looks like a lot more horror-themed, right? Night Springs was cool. Because even though it wasn't officially the sequel to Alan Wake 2, it tied in so well and even explained who Mr. Door is, which was really cool. Because we didn't know that from the main game, right? So, I guess we'll have to see. But I guess the question is, will we get any idea of what is going on in the lake? What is that? Is that supposed to be Alan Wake? It looks like it might be, right? It's like Alan Wake being distorted to look like a monster. It's funny. Mr. Game Master did a $2 super chat saying, is Control a fun game? I never played it. The plot of Control is excellent. And some of the puzzles and the design of the levels is great. The combat itself is incredibly repetitive and not very good. It was the combat that held it back, nothing else. So, but I loved the plot. So, Alan Wake 2, the Lake House expansion, I'm going to play it. We got to figure out when it's coming out. They didn't give it a date yet. But obviously, I'm going to play it. I've played all the other Alan Wake content up to now. Looking forward to it because it's probably the end of the Alan Wake 2 saga. And maybe we'll get some definitive answers. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But that was pretty good. I hope that you guys will check out my playthrough of that in October. Okay? All right, cool. So one final thing I want to react to this morning. I know that there's much, much more that I haven't. And what I'd like you guys to do, if you could recommend to me the things that I'm not reacting to today, you think, there's stuff that's very important that I should be watching. I would love that. Please let me know what I haven't seen. And, we'll go from there. But the last one that I would like to react to is the final Slitterhead trailer We've seen a. Why on earth did it say no signal for a second and then come back? Anyway. Okay. So we've seen a lot of coverage of Slitterhead. In fact, I've watched different things about Slitterhead over on my DSP Reacts channel before. But this is the Xbox Tokyo Game Show or whatever. They showed off a new trailer for it, and it's a cool looking supernatural game. This is the final trailer, I believe, for it before it comes out in November. So let's give it a look together. Here we go.
The
demons are interesting.
まあ、世界観的な部分でいうと90年代初頭ぐらいの東アジアの架空の都市クーロンというものを舞台に、しております。まあ、そこはまだまだまだわい雑さが残ってっていうかこう、現代ほど洗練されていないまだまだカオスな街の。
Why did they have to have subtitles at the top of the screen? Right? Why did they have to do that? Now I got to move my camera. Hold on. Now it's intruding. Can't read what he's saying. Gentlemen, it's very important we hear what he's saying here. Okay.
中で、まあ、そこに何か異物が入り込む。
Look at those worm dudes.
人を、捕食する未知の生物が現れたというところで、まあ、人知れずその脅威と戦う人々の物語にフォーカスするというそういった視点で描いた物語となっております。このゲームの、まあ、コアメカニクスといったらもう一言で憑依という、まあ、そのメカニクスに尽きると思っています。で主人公が、まあ、これは本当に今までないと思うんですけど、姿形。
Has there ever been a game where you jump possessing bodies? And I think I recall a game like that. Where you jump around possessing different bodies. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm thinking of like Watch Dogs where you're jumping from device to device. Maybe it wasn't full-on possession. But I feel like they've done, there has been a game formula like this before. Wasn't there a game where you jump inside of a character and then you take on their abilities too? What was that? I'm not thinking of like, not Infamous, but the other game, that Prototype? No, right? That's not Prototype, was it? Driver? Oh, I never played Driver. People are saying in a game called Driver, you could jump around and jump into different drivers and you would take over their abilities as driving. Oh. In Crash of the Titans, Mind Over Mutant, you would jack the creatures, but probably not what you're thinking of. Now, I never played that one. I feel like I've played a game where you jump into different characters and you take over their abilities and stuff, but maybe I'm misremembering.
まあ、人間の肉体を借りなければ何も行動できないという、まあ、その特徴でそれを生かすことで、まあ、瞬時に次々と宿主を変えることで街中をこうすごい高速で駆け抜ける。
Wait a minute. I just realized something. So you're going to hijack a human and then you're going to do platforming, but then you switch out of the human in midair. Is that human going to die? Like they don't have the powers anymore. So they're going to regain their control of their body in the middle of the air, and then they're going to plummet to the ground and splat like a pancake. That's messed up.
ようなアクションがあったり、時にはその宿主をこう見捨てることでこう自分の命をつないだりとかいった。
Freaking penis head creatures, yeah. They definitely look like worms or penis head creatures. They're disturbing, but they're funny at the same time.
従来のゲームとは一線を画するシステムというのがコアになってます。発想の転換が必要になるゲームだと思うんですね。テストプレイをやっていてもやっぱり、まあ、普通のゲームであればこういった立ち回りをしなければみたいなことをやる、まあ、最初はやっていくんですけど違うんだこのゲームはっていうで全く違う立ち回りというのが自然とこう身についてきた時の自分の中での意識の変化みたいなところが面白いんじゃないかなと。
So what he's saying is you don't play it like a conventional game. You really have to use this mechanic a ton. You see he's fighting a boss, but he's got like 4 people in the arena. So you one combo with one person, switch to the other. Now their turn, now switch to the other, right? If one person's getting rattled by the boss, switch to another character and start wailing on the boss from behind. Yeah, I could see that being kind of interesting and different for sure, compared to, other games where it's just you're straightforward controlling the one protagonist and, you're relying on dodging or whatever with that one character. That's kind of cool.
ゲーム内のクリーチャーに関してはモチーフがあって、ヤクシスイーターヘッドっていう存在が人間に擬態しているから、その本体の本を晒した時にも実は擬態生物がモチーフになっているみたいなところが面白いんじゃないかと思って、そういうところにこだわって。
Yeah, I was just thinking, what does this remind me of? It kind of reminds me of The Thing, that movie The Thing, where it looks like the monster, the alien creature looks like a human, looks like a dog, but then all of a sudden it rips apart and mutates into this giant gore monster, right? That's totally what this is reminding me of The Thing.
作っております。プレイして驚いてほしい。
Because look, it's got human bones in it. It's got a rib cage and but it's a mutant monster as well. So it's kind of the same premise.
思ってますね。
I like that. I like that you're going to have abilities with each character to do crazy things, like pull out a giant mutated gun and just start shooting a chain gun at it. That's wild.
はい、このスリッターヘッドですが、この番組が終わった直後から本日、マイクロソフトストアにて Xbox 版の予約を開始させていただきます。
I think this is cross-platform, right? I think it's going to be on everything, not just Xbox.
通常版に加えまして、後の設定資料集やサウンドトラック
We have prepared a deluxe edition, which allows you to pay us more for the same game. We are very grateful that you are that foolish.
なども含まれたデラックスエディションといったものも用意しておりますので、ぜひとも予約を。
You will get the art book and the soundtrack and the things you will never use. Thank you so much for your extra monies.
お願いいたします。
Ugh. That'll be interesting. So, honestly, I like the look of it, but it's coming to all platforms, correct? It's not just coming to Xbox. Doesn't say though. So, yeah, but I mean, definitely, if I play it, I'll play it on PC, and it looks interesting. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna say about that game. I'm gonna say the same thing I'm gonna say about that game as I said about Watch Dogs Legion. If it's executed well and it keeps fresh and there's constant innovation and new things happening with the gameplay mechanics, it'll work. But if it falls into archetypes, like for example, okay, if you warp into a burly dude, then you become a bruiser type. If you warp into a quick guy, he has knives. If you warp into that other guy, he pulls out the chain gun. And if that's all the game is, it's going to be really fun for like 5 hours, and then you're going to get bored because it's going to end up being the same thing over and over and over and over, right? You don't want it to be so repetitive that you get bored within 5 hours. Like Watch Dogs Legion was very interesting in the beginning, and then after a while, every character you realized was one of the archetypes. None of their stories mattered because they were all disposable, and the game got boring as shit. So I feel like that's sadly where this game can go if they're not careful. They're going to need to keep the at least one main protagonist that you stay with, you're going to want to follow their story. They can't all be disposable or else it's going to kind of suck, I feel. And you're going to want to have gameplay mechanics that are going to be improving. You're not going to want to have a game where it's the same mechanic over and over, and within a few hours you've seen it all. Because actually, that's what happened with Ghostwire Tokyo, where it starts off great, but then after about 5-10 hours, once you've unlocked all the elemental abilities, you've seen all the combat of the game, and the game just becomes a repetitive slog to the end. That's what I mean. Like, they need to keep it fresh during the course of the game. So they have potential to do that, but will they? I'm curious. I like the look of the game. It looks interesting to me. It's one I would like to check out in November. I've got it in my release schedule, so right now, it's definitely a consideration for me. Okay, well, I hope you liked that. Okay, so that concludes the React portion of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, that's just 4 of the big things that came out in the last week. I would absolutely like if you guys could tell me what other trailers perhaps I've missed and you would like to see me talk about. All right? I would love that. Like, what did I miss? And, because I want to definitely see everything. And I know that only those 4 things, there's probably way more than that, right? So by the way, like I said, I do have some minor interesting updates in regarding my merch shop, but I would prefer to hold off on that because we are at like the final leg of getting the merch shop launched, but it's not ready as of yet. There's some minor tweaks that have to happen first. So maybe we'll circle back to that tomorrow because as of now, it has not been updated. And maybe we will circle back to it and we'll do like an official launch when it's ready. I'm hoping that tomorrow will be launch day. We'll see though. All right, we'll find out. By the way, I have received a $5 tip. I've been watching you since 2010, Phil, and I love your content. Thank you so much. It's an anonymous $5 tip and a nice positive message. Thank you so much to whoever that was from. Let's get a nice animation. In fact, this is our first tip animation of the day. Thank you so much for that. Let's do a quick update on everything here, see how we're doing. So we're at $37 so far of support. Thank you guys for that. How are we doing on engagement? We got our 100 likes. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Thanks for giving me the 100 likes on the podcast. I appreciate that. We're going to, after the podcast, remember now the way I set this up, we have a podcast stream and 2 separate gameplay streams. So once the podcast ends, we head over to the gameplay portion. And, engagement is key on all of this content. So thank you for watching and for the engagement that you're giving me here. I really appreciate that. Okay. So, whoops, hold on. No, that was correct. So I have covered all of the topics that I wanted to talk about on the podcast. So what I'm going to do is for the end here, for the conclusion, I will open up the show to your Q&A. If you guys tag me in the chat, I'll answer your questions, or if a contribution comes in, I'll shout it out. Again, it's great. Let's get some momentum going. Thank you for becoming the new top tipper, whoever that anonymous tipper was. And remember, today it's the likely conclusion of Astrobot. We will see how far in we really are and how long it takes, but I'd like to see if I can finish it today. Falcuel says, is the game that you're talking about called Geist? That Geist sounds familiar, but I don't think I've played it. That sounds very familiar. Lee Ray Tide says LTG addresses the DM you sent him on his stream. That's great. Well, number one, LTG did not respond to the DM. Okay. Number two, I'm not going to go scouring the internet looking for LTG. Just not. It's really frustrating and a waste of time at this point to try to find his content because it doesn't exist because he deletes it all after he streams. Basically, he's cowardly. So I don't care. Really. Like, if somehow the response falls into my line of sight in the next couple of weeks and I have a boring day with nothing to talk about, maybe I'll bring it up. But quite frankly, since the guy is not professional, doesn't understand content, doesn't understand entertainment, doesn't understand that people want to see interaction, I'm not gonna fucking waste time on the guy. Like, what am I gonna do that for? Right? We've been there, done that. We already beat the dead horse. He doesn't want to play ball. So he doesn't want to play ball. He can sit there by himself in his room, his little dorm room, or his bedroom where he lives with his mom or his grandmom, who can yell in and scream at him that he can do the chores at any moment, with his, $15 felt background and his LED wall that's not even pointed at the camera because it probably looks so bad. And he can sit there talking to his echo chamber of people on Discord who send him money to basically have him do whatever they want because it's the only way that he can make a living. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't want to branch out and do anything interesting, so I don't care. More power to him to be insulated. A cool game called Second Sight. That sounds familiar. It had possession and other psychic abilities. That sounds familiar. Second Sight. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What about that game that I liked and everyone else hated? I swear that's the game I'm thinking of. Wasn't there a game? Soul Survivor, Soul Suspect. It was a game where there was it was a murder investigation, but it was paranormal, and you had paranormal abilities and you were jumping around, right? Murdered Soul Suspect. Is that the game I'm thinking of? Maybe that's the game I'm thinking of. Murdered Soul Suspect, right? Yeah. I think that's what it is. Murdered Soul Suspect. I think that one had it, too. We were jumping around. And everyone hated the game, but I played it and actually enjoyed it. Yeah. I really liked it. I don't know why everyone... I think it was just because of the graphics and it had some bugs, but I actually really liked the story of the game. I thought it was intriguing. Yeah. I've now received a... Whoops. Okay, I thought I'd done something wrong there on my PC. I did not. I just hit my keyboard. I received a $6 tip from One Sick Puppy. I'm an even bigger fan. I've been watching you since your birth. From the moon. Just like Ed Harris from The Truman Show. I'm enjoying your streams. Anywho, have you decided which of the 3 games you'll play next? Dead Rising, Mickey, or Zelda? I already talked about this early on the show. It seems like Zelda ain't gonna work. And the reason I say that is because I've gotten more than one person who's been playing it this week who reached out to me and basically said, It's a game that I will love because it plays like classic Zelda, but it has more of an open world exploration. It doesn't hold your hand. So it feels like a modernization of classic top-down Zelda with new elements. But basically, it's going to be a lot of wandering around, not knowing what to do. And for me, it would be entertaining to play, but they don't think it would work for the audience. So because of that, I think Zelda's going to be out. So I would say probably either Dead Rising Remastered or Epic Mickey Rebrushed. I mean, I'm leaning towards Dead Rising Remastered because it's going to be Halloween horror time. And I think that's what people are going to want to see more than Mickey, right? So that's what I'm thinking. But the thing is, we're not jumping into it until I finish the content I'm making. So we have to finish Astrobot. We have to finish the casting of Frank Stone. Once those are wrapped up, right, then we can say, oh, all right, now what's next? But I'm not even going to, like this week, I might not even finish everything. Today is Astrobot. Monday is Frank Stone. Tuesday is the Metaphor demo. And then we got to see what I've wrapped up for next week, what's left. If we still have to finish stuff or whatever, and then figure out what's next. And remember, October 8th is going to be the big Silent Hill 2 launch, and everyone's going to want to see me playing that like nonstop, you know? So that's going to be like multiple days in a row. So shout out to Aaron Nero, who just became a member this morning. Thank you to Aaron for that support. I appreciate that. Hope you enjoy all the emotes and the cool crown you get and not having to have the slow mode in chat. All right, anything else, guys? DZ says Mickey is terrifying. The original Epic Mickey actually was terrifying for all the wrong reasons because it was on Wii. So here you are playing a game with kind of an interesting plot, and then every time you want to play, you're trying to waggle these Wiimotes around, and it won't aim properly, and it won't jump in the direction you want, and it's just frustrating as hell. It's like, man, if only we weren't limited to this fucking shitty, inferior, inaccurate motion control, the game would be good. Well, now it is, right? Like, now you're not doing that anymore. So, oh, okay. So, I'm wondering, actually, literally, I'm wondering if this will be a better version of the game. Like, would it actually be an entertaining, enjoyable experience now? Right? Maybe. All right, anything else, guys? What any last-minute topics, or shall we get ready for Astrobot? We got a couple more minutes here before we adjourn. Bart has done a $10 super chat and says, sorry if you mentioned this. Are you going to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? I did already mention it. Essentially, people are like, they want me to play it. They really want me to play it. They're saying that they think it would be a great playthrough. There hasn't been a Dragon Ball game I've played in years. This is the biggest roster of Dragon Ball characters ever. And apparently the plot has kind of a make choices to edit where the plot goes kind of a deal. So as long as people are down for it and you want to see it, I'm willing to play. Okay? Jeremy says, are you not feeling Terry Bogard? If not, why? It's not that I'm not feeling Terry Bogard. I feel like Terry Bogard has everything, but isn't good at anything. He has an invincible anti-air, but it's not great. He has a bunch of special moves that all have purpose, but none of them are fast or dominant. He's got combos, but they're not broken enough. He doesn't have good constant rush down. So he has a little bit of everything for every situation, but to use him effectively is much harder than, say, just picking a top tier. Picking Cammy, Juri, Ken, Akuma, Bison. You're going to get answers for almost every situation that are much better than the answers that Terry has, you see? So it's not that he's bad. It's that he's kind of a much harder character to use effectively because he doesn't have the tools needed to hang with the top tiers, in my opinion. At least that's the impression I got from playing him on release day all day. I am going to use him again on Monday night and see how we do. What's funny is what I was like getting at with him is exactly how people are playing with him. So what you want to do is catch people in the corner and do this big power wave combo or lockdown, where basically you just keep pounding the ground with the power wave, and then you hit them and you do the ground EX power wave, and then you can mix them up and do another one, and they just get kind of stuck in the corner. And that's how the good players are playing with him. So I was getting to the point of kind of figuring that out, and then, we didn't have time. But I guess we'll see what happens Monday night, and we'll go from there. No, I never played a Tenkaichi or Budokai game. I owned one ages ago. I had a modded PS2 to play a Japanese one. I forget if it was Tenkaichi or Budokai or whatever, but I had one. I had imported it because people had told me it was so good. So I imported this Japanese Dragon Ball game. I modded my PS2 to have a flip top to play it, and it was booting, and I played it just a little bit, and then the fucking thing, I guess, got loose, and it scratched the fuck out of my import disc. I was like, it started making this loud noise. I'm like, whoa, what? And I turned it off and I opened the flip top because the modded PS2 had a flip top. I opened it and the whole disc was destroyed. I was like, oh. I was so upset. Like, dude, I spent a lot of money to import this thing. I got completely boned. So then after that, I basically stopped using the modded PS2. I'm not going to waste this. This thing, it's not very trustworthy, you know? It's kind of shoddy. DZ says, you weren't meant to play it then, said the universe. I guess not. It's all good. It's all good. If we check out this new one and it's good, I'm happy. Spawn Killer did a $2 super chat. Would you ever consider doing retro replay? What do you... wait a minute. Spawn Killer, what do you mean by that? I do retro replay every Sunday night. We're finishing up Resident Evil Director's Cut tomorrow, and then after that, we're going to start up with either Silent Hill 1 or 2 for the month of October. So I don't know what you mean by that. Lady Christmas says, the thing about the DBZ games from that series is that balance goes out the window at some of the most show-accurate fighters. So basically, 90% of the cast is worthless, is what you're saying. Great. Great. Zero is going to be like Tenkaichi gameplay. Interesting. I guess we'll see. I haven't played one of these in a million years. I don't know if it'll be any similar to anything I've played before. I guess it'll be interesting. It's going to look great, right? On the PC. I hope. Here's the thing. Now, all right, you ready for this? Now we're actually hitting the real gaming season. Okay? In the next couple of months, literally, we have, hold on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's about, in the next few months, there's about 13 major releases that are all coming out, and I'm going to be playing all of those games on PC, okay? Out of the 13 releases, how many are actually going to run very, very well at launch, and how many are going to have problems on PC? Because it was funny, before I got the gaming PC, I just kept hearing horror story after horror story about games with launching on PC, and they are launching unoptimized, tons of graphical issues, crashes and shit. And in truth, I haven't really experienced that. I would argue the one game that gave me problems was Star Wars Outlaws, where even when we tweaked with the graphics like 3-4 times that day, in the open world, it was bad. It had bad loading and pop-in. The frame rate was having issues. And I was like, that's not optimized at all. Right? All the other games that I've played for the most part are good. I mean, even the Metaphor demo, which people are complaining about, I'm playing at 1080p, 120 hertz, and I didn't have a single issue. I was enjoying the graphics quite a lot. So, I guess this will be the true test for my PC now and these new games coming out, right? What's going to be optimized for PC and what won't. Parasolo, 40 months as a member. He says, I love this season. And he did a whole bunch of horror emotes. Me too. So likely by the end of this week, I will set up my Halloween setup. And what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to have Halloween animations on the screen. And I'll have like one side of me will be all like Halloween decorations. On the other side, I'll probably have this, and the ghost lamp. And that'll be my October setup. It'll be pretty cool. Spawn Killer did a $5 super chat. He says, retro replay was when you played games before you did GTA 4 and Dead Space. Spawn Killer, you're talking about something over 10 years old. You realize that, right? The original retro replay was like 2012. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, retro replay. Oh, you're talking about retro replay, not retro react. Oh, I'm getting confused. So you're saying would I ever go back and do retro replay where I play older games that I've already played again? Yes, I would absolutely do that if time permitted and if there was a reason or if there was a good version. I mean, I just recently bought on the Humble Bundle all of the Resident Evil games. Like I own every Resident Evil game now. Right? So I'd be down to go back and play Resident Evils and stuff in the future. Like, that would make sense. Darth Fig just did a $5 super chat and says, hype for the Astrobot finale. Good luck on the final challenge levels that unlock when you get all Astrobots and puzzle pieces. You can do it. Thank you. Hopefully, I can do it. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll beat it today. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it would be great if we could wrap it up today. We could move on to other stuff, but I guess we'll find out, right? Okay. I did replay Evil Within, what was it, last year before? One of those years, yes, I did. So thank you guys for all the super chats. Thank you for the engagement. Thank you for your company on the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I got to get out of here because we got to get set up for Astro Bot. All right? But what a great start to this shortened streaming week. Thank you all. We are about to head into the spooky season. And I hope that you enjoyed all the stuff that I did during the summer. Now as we head fully into the autumn. And I'm ready for it. I know you guys are too. This is the craziest gaming time of the year. The hypest games. All the cool releases coming out back to back. And I'm down for it. I hope that you guys are too. Thank you all for watching the show. Tomorrow, we'll see what we're talking about. It all depends. Maybe you guys will give me more recommendations and more things to react to. That would be fun, right? But in the meantime, thanks, be safe, and I will see you soon.